Hey everyone, it's Ryder from Skip. I have breaking news for you today on how SBA loan officers determine who's eligible for EIDL loans, in particular EIDL loans over $500,000. There's a cash flow analysis they do. I'm going to walk you through it. We built a calculator based exactly on what the SBA is using to augment their decision making. I'm going to go through that and what you should keep in mind whether you're applying for an increase for the first time or for loan reconsideration, especially if you want to check yourself to see what you're eligible for and what your business cash flow actually shows. Will you be approved or not? This is a great video. Be sure to watch until the end and give this video a like so other individuals, small business owners see this information. And if you're new to our community, please consider subscribing, turning on alerts. And at the end of this video, I have an update on the available amount of EIDL funding that is left. We heard this morning how much money is left, so I'll share that with you and what that means for everyone waiting for EIDL loans now through the end of 2021. Okay, as many of you know, your SBA portal may look like this, where if you've already received a loan, a decision has been made, you may have the opportunity to request more funds. 30-year, 3.75% interest rates. That interest really adds up, by the way. So I want to say it again, EIDL loans aren't for everyone. The interest is real. However, comparing to other business debt, business loans, of course, EIDL loans are better. And now you have the ability to pay off other business debt that you have. And depending on your 2019 revenue and COGS situation, you may be able to toggle to a certain increased amount and select the amount you want and submit for processing. Of course, there's new forms you need to fill out, such as your schedule of liabilities, personal financial statement, P22, and a couple others. I've gone into details on those in a number of videos. And the big question is, what is the SBA loan officer doing to evaluate whether they say yay or nay, or if they give you an alternative offer? We have been hearing that in some cases, loan officers will say, we're not going to approve you for the $2 million, but we'll approve you for $1 million instead. Here's how they do it. This is on the Skip dashboard for premium users. If you want one-on-one EIDL support or funding support, you'll be able to use this calculator I'm about to go through, but we do have a limited number of spots. Just go to EIDL.me to skip the waitlist of now over 4,000 people, or click the link in the description. Here's how it works. Make sure you have your 2019 tax return handy. You'll need to put in your 2019 net business income. So let's say it's 1.5 million for your business. Put in any depreciation or duplicated interest that you reported on your 2019 tax return. In many cases, those two might be zero, but we put them in anyway because that's what the SBA loan officers do. They have a very similar calculator that they use. Fourth field here, annual business debt service. That's what you would have reported on your schedule of liabilities. If you had any other outstanding business debt, you'd put that in. Let's put in $500,000 here. Then two personal things, your annual personal outside income. That could include other assets that you have. Basically, these two next fields come from your personal financial statement. So let's say between salary and investments, your annual personal outside income is $200,000, and your annual personal debt service would include mortgages, car payments, other personal debts that you have. Let's put in $100,000 here. And the seventh field here, total EIDL loan amount to be requested. Again, we'll do the upper bound here and put in $2 million. Then you'd click Calculate EIDL Cash Flow Analysis. By the way, we have tips on this on the dashboard as well. So click Calculate. And the main takeaway here, you should be eligible for your EIDL loan request. Let me read the numbers that we've pushed. Based on your self-reporting information, your annual business cash flow is $1 million. After taking into account your personal assets and liabilities, your overall cash flow is $1.1 million. Based on this self-reported information and the $2 million EIDL loan increase you requested, your monthly payments will be approximately $9,233. So we basically do a cash flow analysis based on 30-year repayment, 3.75% interest, 12 payments per year to come up with that monthly repayment number. That's what the SBA is looking for. On a monthly basis, will you be able to repay your loan or not? And of course, this is very rudimentary. Anyone looking at this would be like, really? This is all they're looking at? Which is kind of not, especially when the SBA is taking into account 2019 revenues, that was a long time ago, versus your current situation. It's imperfect, but it's still a signal. So I just want to clarify that. And of course, I've said this before, the SBA, number one, their goal is to help small businesses. Number two, they want to minimize defaults. You may be thinking near term right now, if you got $2 million in your bank account, that's hunky-dory, you're good to go. But at some point, you'll have to repay that. Of course, we've heard from some folks that at least having that in your business bank account is good. If, let's say, in 2 years, when payments restart, you never needed it, you can start to pay it back then, maybe pay it back sooner. Of course, interest is accruing as soon as you take the EIDL loans. So a couple things to think about. A lot of these things we discuss on our one-on-one calls, so you can weigh the pros and the cons. And of course, the disclaimer is this calculator is for illustrational purposes only and is no way connected to actual SBA EIDL loan decisions. Probably didn't need to be said, but I want to say it anyway. We're not affiliated with the SBA or any government entities. Now let me do 2 more scenarios that are important to note before I tell you about the current EIDL funding situation and the question, will there be funding left for you or not? Just click recalculate cash flow analysis. Let's say your 2019 net income was $1 million. Of course, that would be the minimum to be eligible for the $2 million. But now in this further analysis, the SBA loan officers are looking at the other debts that you have. That's the important part, basically saying, can this person repay it or not? So let's say it turns out that actually you took out $1 million in business loans and your personal debt is $250,000. So I've just updated these 2 fields here. I'm going to calculate again and see what happens. So here it is. You may not be eligible for your EIDL loan request. Based on your self-reported information, your annual business cash flow is 0. After taking into account your personal assets and liabilities, your overall cash flow is negative $50,000. Based on this information, your monthly payments would be approximately $9,233. Therefore, you may not be eligible for the EIDL loan request you made. Let's take one more example where you may not get the full amount you're requesting, but you can see the threshold where you may be approved. So in this case, your business debt service $700K, your annual personal debt service $400K. You're requesting $2 million. Let's see what happens here when we calculate. It says you may not be eligible. Now here's the important number to keep in mind. Basically, your overall cash flow that I've highlighted here, that $100,000, will go into the negative when accounting for your monthly payments. So your monthly payments are still around $9,000 times 12, that goes over 100,000, puts you in negative territory. So that's why the decision comes out no. Let me do one more time here to see if 1.8 million will do the trick. I click calculate here and I see, yes, that was the tipping point. If you're requesting 1.8 based on your situation here, 100,000 total cash flow, repayments would be 8,300 per month. You should be eligible for that EIDL loan increase request. Would love to hear your questions based on this for illustrational purposes only. This is what SBA loan officers by and large are using to determine your repayment ability. If you want early access to this, go to EIDL.me or use the link in the description to book our premium service, to get ongoing support, book a time to talk to us. We may open this up in the next week or 2 to other folks. If you want to stay in the loop there, certainly hit subscribe to this channel because I may announce that next week sometime. Finally, the good news from an SBA loan officer this morning: the SBA does not expect to run out of COVID-19 EIDL funds by the end of this year. For them to do that, it would mean they would have to be spending $2.5 billion on average every single day until the end of the year. That means they have around $90 to $100 billion left in the COVID EIDL pot. So plenty of money. I know folks have asked about that. You know, you're worried you got denied for the increase, or you're trying to get back in the queue. You're wondering, what if they run out of money? According to our sources this morning, they don't anticipate that they will run out of money. So I hope that's some good news ahead of the weekend. Most importantly, thanks so much for your support. Drop your questions and comments below. Link at the top of the description. If you want to try Skip Premium, book a one-on-one time and use our cash flow analysis. Most importantly, stay well, stay healthy, and I'll see you tomorrow.